here let's press play and let's test this out. Hello world, how are you? And then let's press enter and we have our message here, input, and the message that we've sent. Now the problem is that this message is still here, so I will actually have to delete it every single time after I entered an action, which I do not want. What I do want, on the other hand, is for that input field to clear itself after I've sent the message, right? So in order to do that, I will come back here in the on submit and then actually say input text equals to and an empty string. Now let's try that again. We will have a lot of messages there, and now let's enter something random. I don't quite care, and then let's press enter, and the message was printed in our console and it was deleted from our input field. Perfect. Let's start working on our game, right? So the first message that I want to send is actually going to be, instead of welcome to the game, I will actually print another message. I will actually copy paste it from another screen because this is going to be a long text and I don't want to waste too much time writing it, but I will show you right now what it is. So let's press play. So the message reads like this.
Deep within the unforgiven jungle, there you stand, Alex Tyler, a renowned archaeologist on the brink of the discovery of the century. Your goal? To uncover the lost citadel of Zoltec, rumored to hold the treasure of the gods. With a fragmented map and limited resources, your journey begins in the jungle's dark heart. Every step and resource counts as you navigate deadly traps and solve ancient puzzles. Your wisdom and strategic resources management are crucial in unveiling the secrets and securing the treasure before it's too late.
So this is going to be our initial text. So this is actually our first puzzle, even though this is actually named as introduction, and here the user must enter an action, right? So let's do that right now. Now, in order to do that, first of all, I will have to come in the onSubmit function and let's introduce some way to check what state we're in. So first of all, I'm going to say switch, and then let's use the game state variable, and I will check every single case, and then let's say game state dot introduction, and then let's see break, and I will do that for every single state, right? This one is going to be first puzzle, second puzzle, third puzzle, and let's say, do we need to check for the victory and defeat states? Let's see. First of all, let's use these ones, and then let's say second puzzle and the third puzzle. Now we're going to do something if the game state is equal to game state.introduction. So let's see what we can do here. So at this step, I want the player to enter the move command, right? Or walk command. So in this case, I'm going to check if the player entered one of those two commands, right? So let's say if, and I'm going to say input text equals to, and then let's say walk, or let's say input text equals to move. And in that case, I'm going to change the state of our game, right? So I'm going to say game state equals to game state dot first puzzle. And I'm going to update the UI, but let's check that first. Let's see if it works. And actually, before we check that, we will actually add here a debug.log so we can check if it works, right? Let's say first puzzle. Back in Unity, press play, and then let's say some random text. Input, right? But it didn't show us this message, first puzzle. So I'm going to enter move. And then if I'll press enter again, let's clear that out. Now I have the input move and the first puzzle. Perfect. But what happens? Let's clear that out again. But what happens if I will write, let's say that I have the caps lock. So why is that? Now, the problem is that if we take a look in our script, we will see that we are checking for the lowercase commands, right? We don't care about the caps lock or things like that, right? What I do care about though is for my command to be in lowercase. Now I cannot force the user to use only the lowercase, right? But there is something that I can do though, and that thing is going to be this. I'm going to say input text dot to lower. Now this is going to solve my problem, but there is still one thing that I have to do. I will have to store this lower text back in my variable input text. Let's try that again. That should solve my problem. Let's say that now my user will introduce again move, but with the capital M, and then if I will press enter again, first puzzle, right? Now let's try that again with the all caps look, right? But in order to do that, since we actually changed the game state here, I will actually comment that line, so now it will work. So I won't have to restart the game every single time when I want to test that again. So now I will actually restart the game because I have to, since I changed something in my code. Now if I'll press here, let's say move with all capital, and I'll press enter, first puzzle. If I'll write it with only one letter, capital, it works. And it works even if all my letters are lowercase, as you can see right here. That works just fine, and I will reactivate my first puzzle, right? My game state update. Now let's update the UI too, and in order to do that, I'm going to copy paste the text from another screen and then add it right here, and let's try that out. I will play again, let's say move, and then we have a new text. Now let's play that again, and let's test it. Move, and now the text itself is updated. Now for this puzzle we will need to add another variable. So this variable is going to be private float. Actually, I don't think I'm going to make it a float. I'm going to say int, and let's say water count, and this one is going to be 3, and this water count is going to be the amount of resources that our player has, right? Good. Now there is another thing that I want to add in my game state, and that one is going to be, let's say, drinking water, and I will still need to add another thing, and that will be another private variable, private, of type game state, and let's call this previous game state, and that will be also game state.introduction. Now this one is going to be the same as game state for now, but it will actually change when we will come back here in the submit function. We can say another case drinking water, and this one will have a break, and then we will say game state equals to previous game state, and actually I will say previous game state equals to not drinking water is going to be, and right now I'm going to say, before we change the state, I'm going to say previous game state equals to game state, but I want that to change only if the current game state is not drinking water. To do that, I will say if game state not equal to game state dot drinking water, then I will update the state. Perfect. Now I will also update the UI, and then let's say you drink the water and feel refreshed. You have, and I will say water count, water left. So in order to change that, we can actually have to introduce here in the introduction, let's say else if, and I will say like this. I will say if input equals to drink, so if the user enters the drink command, then, and the water count is going to be higher than 0, then we will change the current state, and only here I will say update the UI, because right now, after the water count was decreased by 1 using minus, we can display our message, but I will also have to move this from down here to this position, and I will actually delete that if condition, because now I want to know that the previous state was actually the introduction, and the current state is going to be game state dot drinking water. Let's test that out. Let's play, and then let's say drink, and then the message was changed. You drink the water and feel refreshed. You have 2 water left. So let's keep in mind that the initial value of water count in this case is actually 3. So the water left is actually 2. Perfect. This is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will come back in the next video and I will continue this little game. And until then, I wish you have a good day. Bye bye for now.